console, no! Well, I guess I'll just do it anyway then. Been tossed into the game already. Sorry, just been completely unleashed.
Very excited
still
to
holding me
see.
back.
This is it. Very excited to see how these defenses go on Continent of all things. Panahonia, of course, again, want to drive this home to all of you. We love a bit of mathematics. We love a little bit of data, right? 12 wins, 1 loss on Consulate for Panahonia. Very, very good map for them. No wonder they've picked it when Bank's been banned out for them. You know, Bank being their most preferred map. But statistically, this map's been starting to creep up just a little bit for them. They're going to be confident on these defenses. It should be pretty clean sailing for them already. The utility that they're bringing, Hap, the Chanka, the Denari, the Clash. They're not messing around here.
Still not a big fan of Denari.
Protect your bombs from being
I don't think I've seen a
defused by
single
attackers.
person walk through the laser yet throughout the tournament. Of course, it slows things down. There's no denying that, right? Like when a shield comes in and it steps through the laser, it hurts. The shield gets bashed to the side, so yeah, it has to be taken out. It is a bit of that utility. It's the same how like Capcom traps are usually, you know, hunted down before they actually explode. But when a Capcom trap explodes, it is always quite funny. Nice little explosion. Usually someone going EBNO phase. Just haven't seen it yet from the Denari.
We haven't, and again, it's one of those things where I feel kind of teased almost by the T2 circuit. We'll be seeing these nice little placements, but no massive play come out from it. Hopefully we see something nice. I think given, you know, there's a lot you can do with the Denari. Yes, of course, windows, doorways, etc., etc. But again, that top floor, think about that long, long corridor that you have to kind of go up against if you're attacking, especially from the office side, right? You think about it. Very, very difficult to kind of go up against. You know, a lot of people like to bring a lot of different util for that. They like to bring shields. They like to bring sends a lot of the time as well, just to cut off those lines of sight. So there is the potential of that working on the defense. If you're able to get that meeting hallway and even long desks kind of littered about with Denaris, when people are trying to apply pressure there, it's going to make the job a lot harder.
Reloading, cover me.
Initial bits and bouts of pressure coming through. Over, taking a small amount of damage, but still holding tight on the main breach. His biggest enemy would now be a grenade coming around. Oh, look at those lasers. Alright, that's a bit of a maze that you have to go through. I think this is the most extensive Denari setup I've seen.
Yes, and they've got observation blockers as well. So again, it's like, okay, if Secret kind of try and get the drones out, there could be a little bit of hesitance from them where they're like, okay, what are they
mathematics,
cooking here?
Grace. You can just triangulate based on where the lasers are going.
That's also true.
A minute 30. No real pressure yet. Just a little bit of damage on 1 or 2 players out here. So, yeah, I mean, there's also, like, no real push coming to shove yet from the side of Team Secret.
If Marto coming all the way from the bottom as well, which is, again, when you've got a minute or so left, you need to be careful. Linku hanging around Expo. So you have a lot of pressure kind of coming from below right now. Oh, Marto just immediately dislodges this entire Denari setup.
Feels sad, man.
Those stairs. A little bit sad, because again, massive investment. Lambeck tucked behind the vending machine, though. We've seen how many teams this season, this tournament, in fact, have ignored that default position. Linku desperately trying to contest around these tight corners. This is exactly what we're talking about when it comes to Consular, those tight corners. It's difficult, but yes, the plant is going down. Lambe kind of stuck there, to be honest. That's a post-EP hap. How have Panahonia left that gap there for Secret to exploit?
Oh, there's a shield, though. I have the clash still. And, of course, you know, there is the opportunity to go for some verticalities. But they can use that clash shield to provide themselves with a bit of cover. We have 2 on the rappel, we have 1 down below. This feels like it's a really good setup. As the bees are out there, it gives away some of that game. But the first person already trying to come in. Nisu ready to go for a bit of a long arm as Nick playing on that clash is definitely causing a bit of havoc. Frenchie, though, as it gets taken down, that is now the verticality all gone off the board. And where are they? Well, they're down below. They're not in time. And the counter defuse is there from Panahonia. But because they just decided to send it outside, send that clash, make them worry, go for a jump out or two because there is still one on the rappel. And Panahone, even though they were unaware of the fact that the plant was going down, they ever so quickly resolved the issue as well.
Oh my days. You know, I'm here for that. That's exactly the shenanigans I want to see. Post-plant, clash out the window. Clash is just out the window. You know, you can't repel on that. That's the thing, right? That window plant really requires you holding below or you holding on those windows. Ideally both, right? They are the two main places where you need to hold for that post-EP. Pressure came in below. Again, just playing around that Verti, you were able to kind of deal with that Deimos below in the end. And the clash kind of just jumping out the window. You can't repel if there's a clash there, because the moment you start to repel, her shield goes down. She's just going to swing out from behind it.
And
take you out. Really, like, it's such an obnoxious play. It's such an obnoxious play, but it's 100% a correct play in those moments. It is 100% a correct play. Oh my goodness, Panahone starting this map with a bang. And a very entertaining round. Yes, Secret though. They were able to get in and get the plant, and that's where Panahone needs to be careful. They left a gap there. And Secret exploited it. Need to be a bit more careful, need to be a bit more concrete, need to be a bit more secure here. Yeah, a big part of that was just simply because Lambe was stuck behind that vending machine. Like, he didn't want to swing out at all. He was like, I'm literally stuck here. If I swing out, I die.
Sometimes you just gotta live with that. As very, like, innovating first round coming through. Secret now trying to deal with the punches that have been blown to them. Probably will be a little bit upset about the fact that they weren't able to translate that round, because they felt like they had something going, right? Like they managed to snuck in the plant. Had everybody ready for the post plant. As they make a breach happen right now, you know, just the full aggression from Panahone was let go of. Instantly sent towards the outsides. And as Nick will find the very first kill with a Nitro Cell, probably from fishing up top with that one. It's the lambs off the board. That's Twitch gone. I was talking about Capcan earlier. Rastin deciding to bring that one on the board now. See if that might actually catch one or two off guard. Capcan especially useful when you're in these late round positions, I say, as he gets killed. Because when they are forced to go quick, because the time is running out, they don't have time to check the doorways for traps. And the fact that Twitch has been killed earlier as well is just going to be making it a little bit harder to get rid of those traps.
It is, but at least they know that there was a Capcan in play. That's the key factor of dealing with Rastin nice and early like that. And also it's enabled Marto to hack those house cams as well. Now Rastin has full control over that bulletproofing garage. But so might Team Secret. And you need to be careful for that. Yes, you get that overview. So there we go. Lem's flicking to it just now. Both sides being fed so much information. And it really is going to come down to who's more reactive. Lambe dealing with Linku. Calvo falls for hands of Jack. Nick is there though. The trade instantaneously. Great work on both sides. A 1 versus 2 now. Lambe can't do it. Pops up and Jax is there ready and waiting. Throw yourself into my ready and open arms. And again, a big factor of that is just because that garage cam was open to everyone. Massive there. Jax had the call, every call out he needed there. Every call out he needed.
So 1-1, and the scoreline is we're headed up a floor. We're not sticking around on that basement. Exposition piano up next. Usually followed by lots of verticality coming in from that top floor. To the detriment of the defense every now and then. Because sometimes there's just a person with a shield and a will. And they somehow manage to make it through all the vertical angles that have been made and get the plant down. It's not happening, you know, every round, but usually when a plant does go down on this side, it is in that fashion. But for now, Secret not bringing any shields. As the repicks are starting to come through. Actually liking to see that Brava pick out there. It's got some utility. Think of the Banshees, think of the Afnets that can be hacked and swapped allegiances. just to make things a little bit easier for the attack.
Mine ready.
Shields up.
Loading new mag.
Close drones
Dread
could
mine
cause a rustling as well, though, if they're able to deal with a lot, to be honest. Yes, house cams, but there's banshees in play. We've got the Fenrir. Again, the Secret got so much bang for their buck last time just by getting those house cams under their belt. Those cameras using the Dokkaebi. Still the potential of that as well. And combined with those clutch drones, if they're able to hack that util, that'll give them such a massive lifeline as they progress through the round. It'll give them so much to work with. It'll give them breathing space. It'll give them clearance. It'll give them info.
Selma sequence activated.
I like the Secret being safe here. I like that they're going very patient with it so far. Even as fun, to be honest, it's like even having the Claymore there and you're bringing util like that and actually using it. Remember, when it comes to this site, a lot of people, they like to get a bit of clearance, then jump in through that window. Get the plant down very, very quickly.
Loading new magazine.
Usually with a bit of shield action. Secret aren't choosing to bring that. They are remaining squishy, but they do have the Deimos and they do have the Dokkaebi. And that gives you a little bit of aggression, doesn't it, Hap?
Let's give you the opportunity too as Alems finds Lambe. A little bit of damage himself as he hops back out of the window and gets himself safe. And Nintendo, like some time, still working on getting that top 4 under control, Team Secret is. And there's still 2 or 3 players around. Now, the Nitro cells are also still in pocket, which could be used to fish. And as the phone calls will start to come through, there is no Mew Gemmer close, but Nifsu doesn't eat one, has an MP7 he trusts on. One kill, Linker removed off the board as the death mark's gone as well.
I'm reloading.
Knows about one coming in from the side of Spiral as Bees send his way. Falling back together with Nick, just sticking together, wanting to provide support to one another, allowing Frenchie to start moving up. But he has to go downstairs. There's 35 seconds, there's not a lot of time, and as Alems goes down, Panahone have themselves a good opportunity here as the top 4 is being taken. Rastin was still lurking above. And it's Frenchie is going for the plant. The top 4 is being controlled by Marta. Once more they get away with the plant. Once more they managed to get it through. However, the kill's already there. And Nick has top 4 control, can stop them from using this for the counter defuse, which means they only need to find Marto. And he will find Nissu as soon as they attempt that plant. And now you're in a tricky position as Marto finds 3 and Jax finds 1 more. And Secret Academy pick up the round.
Well, that's really good for Marto, racing to get into a good position there to actually alleviate a lot of this pressure and clean up a lot of these bodies in that post plant. Great work there from Secret so far. And again, this is always a kind of nice thing to see. When a team has kind of been hiding a map, not really showing a map too much. You kind of think like, okay, they're obviously working on it, they're obviously scrimming it. We haven't really seen it from them, yes, but that's given Secret a little bit of an edge here. Because typically, yeah, despite the changes to Consular, it still is kind of tricky on those attacks. You still have to get around those nasty little corners. You need a lot of utility behind you. And Secret, they've made really good use of that utility. Really, really good use of that utility. But they're being, more importantly, so reactive. Any bit of info that's fed to them, they're there. They're immediate with it. And that's a really good thing to see. Especially given they lost their map pick themselves, right? And sometimes that can put you a little bit against the wall, but it's not affecting them too much at all. They're very confident with it. And it looks promising right now, Hap.
Definitely looks promising. This is a better Secret than one we've seen in Clubhouse. Especially considering they're getting these attack rounds on the board. But nothing yet. It's only been 3 rounds. And Van Honno is able to get 2 of these next 3 comfortably on the board.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Entire momentum can swing round. We also cannot forget in the meantime, you know, that Panahone managed to win that round where the diffuser got planted without them knowing, and they just send it all outside. like mass migration towards the exterior of the building, which found them the success they needed.
Drone is ready.
Marto bringing out the Nook.
Swapping mag.
It's certainly a sight to behold. Again, he's been phenomenal this map so far. Really has been a menace in these moments. Tearing apart Panahone, and now he's going on to the Nook. So again, a little bit of utility to be really sneaky and
Deploying Selma.
move around seemingly undetected in the hands of Martu, who seems to be on fire on this map. That is a big amount of pandemonium that can be caused in Stenari setup. Could be naded out a little bit. I believe there's one more that needs to be taken out. Not just that one. There's one on the floor just at the top of the stairs, I believe. Last time they were able to deal with it by coming up the Visa stairs. Might still see that. Marta, of course, making his way to Visa. I think that's going to be the key factor here. And again, this is where hopefully Panahone, they don't get themselves trapped in these corners. And base of reception right now, not tucked behind the vending machine, so that certainly is a better position to be in than last time.
Trades coming through. Bovalinko and Nisu picking up a kill. Bringing it back to a 4-on-4, a minute left. Marto sneaking up the spiral stairs, 6-in-1 currently has a crucial opportunity. Once again, the plant's going down. Surely they're aware of the fact of where this is happening now. Frenchie gets away with it. No, he doesn't. And that means they could actually try and go for a counter defuse now because they've killed him early. As Alems and Jax will both find one. Nick, the last man standing. Does he know where they are? Well, one's outside. He leans into the fight and gets it. Still has the clash shield, but he's not using it, Nick! A teabag coming out for good measure. And the round ended in a counter defuse. Panahone 2-on-2.
I don't even care what people say about teabags, because every time Nick has pulled off a teabag, it's been for a good reason, right? Again, we always look at that player to get those clutches firmly under his belt, and he's done it again. Makes it look so easy. Taking out Jax, taking out Lems like it's nothing. I was wondering then, I was like, hey, you've got a fair bit of util. How do we get creative with this again, right? How do we get creative with this again? Didn't even need to think about anything, just went for those gunfights. Great stuff there. 2-2. Remember last time on basement. Capcan dropping nice and early. Not only alerted secrets to the presence of the cap cam, but it also allowed for those house cams to be hacked, and that ultimately won them the round. Nice little bulletproofing garage, just feeding Jax that information to dodge, duck, and weave his way through snuffling up those final kills.
Camera position.
Spanhorn need to be careful. We're not having the Dokkaebi come out this time, though. Let's see where this utility ends up, because again, they did hint at the Sens, and I think Sens can be pretty decent if you want to try and force things on this basement site. Instead, they've gone with the sledge, so again, want to get that Verti upstairs. Bit of extension wouldn't hurt from Panahone here. And loads of options to open up that main wall. Maybe even open things up from the back as well.
Team Secret basically have looked really good in their attacks. There's no two ways about it. In all rounds, they managed to get the diffuser down. Two of them, of course, the retake was successful by Panahone. They've managed to get a lot done in most of these as French that grenade bounce back. At least it didn't okay, right. I was gonna say, at least it didn't destroy the hard breach gadget, but the electrification afterwards did. And with the second EMP used, but a Tuberal once again using his auto canister, it's gonna stop them from actually being able to open it. And now you know that missed grenade really hurting not being able to get the electroclaw.
Massive. It that things get a little bit one-dimensional for the side of Secret now as well. Things might have to get a little bit more uncomfortable because they're going to have to go for these choke points. Not that it matters. Ninku dealing with Nifsu. Cavalry is coming in as the Lems belts it down the stairs to give a bit of backup, but Halva's going to take out Marto. Lems and Linku potentially could cause a bit of a ruckus here. Pushing from the back again, it's given and Hornet all the info they need there. Rastin needs to be careful. The pitch could come through. Frenchie from the back as well. Halva really giving that cover here. Nick has gone down, but the trade was instantaneous. Since you've lost that key player, you've lost that star player for your side right now. And it's still a 3 versus 3.
Not just that, but Rastin surviving as well when he was taken into a gunfight earlier. Kubi coming out clutch. Jack's waiting around the corner. Lambe will find a kill suddenly. And Honey, an advantage. And Lambe still up top, has the opportunity to come down any of these staircases. Especially the Fizo one. Will be watched. This is only up to Jax now. He gets a bit of a pre-fire, but will not find Rastin. And Honey take the lead, put themselves up 3-2. And, you know, even though Team Secret Academy, this is the first round where they haven't looked like they were able to win it. Win the round, that is. But yet we're finding ourselves in a 3-2 situation where Panohana is leading. And only a single round they looked like they were in control. And that's going to be painful. And, you know, you might be like, why is that going to be painful? Well, let's be honest, it could have been 4-1. It should probably even been 4-1 right now for the side of Secret. Panohana able to steal these rounds away whilst, you know, they're struggling here and there on the defense. Are making it easier for themselves when they finally go over to the attack themselves.
Jammer ready.
I think again, credit where credit's due. Like, you know, Secret kind of hiding this a little bit somewhat. But it has been a good map for them. It has been a decent map for them, but you need to remember, this is still the upper bracket, right?
Changing bags.
Whoever wins this game, you have to play against Geekay in that upper bracket final. Showing these kind of trump cards nice and early, where it's like, okay, Secret do a decent consulate. That could be something that bites them down the line. It's an uncomfortable situation for both sides, really, because again, you go into that low bracket, you have to scrap your way for that alligator swamp, or you go against Geekay, in which case, you know, potentially 9 times out of 10, you may end up in that lower bracket again anyway. It's that extra lifeline that you want to keep under your belt. So this win is so important.
Drones activated. Deploying drone.
Drones being sent in. Cirotero's destroying some utility as well. Marto with the Twitch is looking to find some utility, and with that utility you mostly will think of the AFNATs. You'll think of the goo mines, but most importantly the yokai drones. We've seen those yokais be impactful, detrimental. That's not something you would like to have on board. I understand why it's been brought though from Panohana, because we've had a couple of situations where a plant happened under their nose and they had no ID. So maybe that yokai drone is going to be able to provide them with a bit of extra clarity. As Lems is the first to fall, the grenade will lead the charge for Frenchie. Also, trade happens, the AFNAT will blind, not allowing Frenchie to move in any further. There it is, the yokai drone gets the stun, surprise attack. And as Jax is now pushing through the hallway, he's chasing out one member. Linko will find another. We're back into a 3-on-3. But the diffuser is still down on the top of yellow. And Nick will be found as he's trying to rotate through as well. And now the 3-man setup up top as Jax will go down by a bit of a double team. The diffuser still being down on the ground. The shotgun coming out from the side of Halva as he's not quite sure where the last 2 members of Secret are. The blind comes in as Lambe shuts him down, and Marto down below in the west corridor is once again being blinded. The AFNAT's really doing some huge work here on the side of Panohana. He's just not able to find him as the verticality comes in. A little bit of damage done, that's enough. You don't need to lean in any further than that as Hova locks it off and Panohana. They get themselves their 4th round on the board. And their utility here, absolutely crucial. And I said it on the Twitch, they would have to be looking for that utility specifically, the AFNATs, the Yokais. And what was the utility that eventually won the round for Panhone? AFNATs and Yokais.
Precisely that. Although I will say, even in those final moments, Panhone, they had kit down, and they were still being a little bit cheeky with it. Again, as soon as you hear that FNet come through, you're like, okay, I know they're blinded, I can go for that swing. I can be a bit aggro here. Side swap coming through. Double shield ban to get things started. Clash going on the side of Secret. Panahone being like, we don't want the hair of the dog that bit us, thank you very much. We don't want to enable you with that. We were being a little bit of a menace with it. The Blackbeard and Monty ban is very smart, actually, from Secret, because again, when it comes to Consulate and those attacks, since you know, these map changes that have happened, it's made it, attack's always been difficult on Consulate, right? But with the rework, it made all these horrible little corners that you have to force your way through. And yes, you can open those externals very, very quickly, 9 times out of 10, but those corners are horrible to get through. And sometimes having that shield utility in your pocket just to give you that extra dimension of pressure from a safety point is really nice and really useful and really impactful. Even, for example, if you take, the office take from the one side, right? If you've got a shield play on a window, it does lighten the load some more. You can even have someone, launch himself into bathroom on this top floor when you're pushing from that office side. So you've kind of removed that from the side of Panahone, which is very cheeky, but I do think that's a really, really good way to kind of go into these bans, to be honest.
10 seconds left before insertion.
It's definitely a good one. But it still doesn't remove the blitz at least temporarily. Of course, that can be changed in about 3 rounds from now.
Loading mag!
It could be over in 3 rounds from now. I don't think it will be, but it could be over in 3 rounds from now. We again see a very nice Denari setup all the way across that hallway. Such a shame when such a carefully crafted web can be destroyed by taking out a single connector. Our Secretaries will soon be coming in. It's going to be destroying some of that utility. Think of, as well, the Kiba barriers, but also the front desk, and maybe even some of those. Oh, this is actually smart. Lambe is trying to hide himself on the upside-down rappel as it's been opened up, and he gets the kill as a result of it. It was opened up from below. They didn't expect someone to be on the upside-down rappel, and that allows Lambe to just find himself a free kill to start off the round with. Smart play from Panahone. Fair play to them as well. And now instantly, things are slowed down. They're not trying to push it through. They're going to be utilizing this to the top of their ability. As the dropping comes, so is the blitz. He's blinded, but that doesn't matter as he just swaps over towards the next room over. The shotgun and the nitro cell will be dealing a little bit of damage, and the down is there, but Nissu founds a kill as well in the meantime. Back on 3-on-3 we go. Lambe strikes big, finds one more. Jackson Frenchie, the last standing. The Tiburao canister used to try and stop the bees from pinging. Frenchie close around the yellow stairs as an Exoda canister is used as well. Will find the kill into Lambe. Bring us to a 2-on-2. Zaman was still outside, and with a minute 20, Nick is ready near the side. He wants to go in for a plant attempt, but he's not ready to go yet. He needs his support there. The support of Nissu is coming over. He's rappelling up, will be running over towards the side, and then we'll be providing that support. The last B is going to be used for that. The rappel in will come, and that means that the execute is now nigh. The flashbangs are being tossed in. The plant will be attempted, but it will be forced off because the smoke canister is still there. The last one that Frenchie had. With 46 seconds, that means there's no more Bs, just a single flashbang at which they can try and attempt this plant. And as the flashbang pops in, the cover needs to be big, and it seems like it might be, but no, from below, Frenchie with the shotgun. And he stops that plant from happening, and Panahone are caught down. And Frenchie takes them out. A smart play moving towards the hatch and dropping, realizing what was going on. No Bs would have saved you from that. And Secret Academy find themselves their 3rd round of this map.
RCE going out.
I mean, from the get-go, this was the issue. You lose kind of the blitz very, very early. Again, you just need that additional little level of pressure where the attention is split a little bit more. Great work, to be honest, from SECA, because again, that really kind of was the linchpin to get that defense going. As soon as that blitz goes, you've lost that really aggressive shield utility from your pockets, and you've lost that little bit of extra bite. Frees up a lot of breathing space. Everyone else is a lot squishier. Those gunfights can be won a lot more effectively.
All fortified.
Pulse coming out, of course. Love to see that. Cardiac sensor can be so impactful. And not only, you know, yes, finding people to maybe play around the cheeky C4. In this instance, we have 4 C4s for the round. But it also gives you the idea of where those pushes are coming from. You know, you see one person repelling somewhere, or maybe 2. You can work out where the others are. It's not rocket science. Everyone knows how these maps are played at this point. Having the shotgun also...
Drone deployed.
Marto to be a little bit more aggressive around those corners as well.
Breaching here.
Just that, but also from down below when he
Swapping mags.
sees what's happening, or up above even. As of course we're playing in that basement, it's quite a heavy emphasis on keeping Piano under control. Frenchie just trying to keep that wall shut. Waiting, he's watching and patiently biding his time with Rastin. A window next to him, of course, won't be able to put some instant pressure on, but could definitely on some of his teammates as Lems finding himself tracked. There's no real safe space to be, so he's forced to fall back towards that basement. As pings are coming through, aware of the fact that Cade is down there as well. The hunt is on, but the pings are as well. As Ova walks right into a Lems, who shuts him down, and Team Secret Academy now find themselves with a man advantage with a blitz shield. This is what he's facing next.
Huge, massive. The IQ's gone as well. But Pulse doesn't have to worry so much now about being contested. Those black eyes might be nice and safe as well in the pocket of a Lems. A lot of info can be fed. Wombo combining the cardiac sensor and those black eyes. You've lost the Deimos, you've lost the IQ. That's the info really gone from the hands of Panahoni at the same time. So again, in theory, in terms of information and how reactive you want to be to it, this really does seem to favor Secret right now. Marto even on the approach, waddling his way down these yellow stairs, looking to cause a bit of a commotion, a backstab about to come through. No pressure on the doorway. Vastin could get caught off guard here. This could be massive.
Setting hard breach.
There we go. Marto gets it. No one covering. Rastin taken out from the back. Zelens will do Nick as well, and Lambe left at a 1v5. That's a flawless for Secret.
I mean, there wasn't really much you could do at that point when it's a 1v5 and dropping in like that. The map gets closed up 4-4. Even score lines as we get into the next. Panahonic. Of course, they haven't looked that comfortable on this map so far. It's looked like Team Secret's map throughout the majority of these rounds, even though the scoreboard doesn't really portray it. Now they're on the defense. That's when they can start turning that tide. They've already done their bidding on their attacks.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And Panahone now needs to try and get them across the finish line. Pick up 1, maybe 2. Well, at least 2 to find themselves in an overtime position.
There's a lot of utility investment happening now on the side of Panahornevo. Again, you've got the Glaz Blitz Wombo combo alongside the Capitao as well. They really want to give themselves a lot of options because, again, they're struggling at shutting down the ante that Secret are now bringing. A lot of aggression, a lot of flair, a lot of pizzazz.
Attackers must locate and defuse
Secret
the
themselves still relying on that information, and again really looking at just bringing out the Mozzie pests now to deny information from the hands of Panahone, deny those drones. Granted, you can cut off sight lines and get a bit aggro now that you've got that
Located by
glass, but
attackers.
we're equalized now at 4-4, and Panahone, they need to do something big here.
They definitely need to hit big. And as Nick has taken quite a lot of damage. Specifically from Marto, I assume. That's a great start. At least he lives. Yes, going down. Definitely not a great start, but a bit of a trade coming in. Marto finding 2 kills. With his pistol. Linko with 3rd, and the round is already dismantled. As Marto leans in, he will be shut down, but Lambe, low on HP. Hova, been tagged up as well. The remaining secret members haven't even fired a round yet, it feels like. Smoke will block of a line of sight, the one actually coming in from below. Drone will not be checking that out, the Lems is free play. Just come up slowly, steadily. See what it can do from there as actually decides to rotate off. Default cam still in his favor.
Reload.
It's the top floor under control from the side of Panahone. It's that middle floor they're interested in. The Lems slowly popping around on the Zulu side. Still around Spiral. There's an opportunity here for Panahone, but it's not looking very likely. The Syria laser gate gets wasted. Smoke canister being tossed in. Should be providing Hova with a bit of an opportunity. No, the plant will be attempted though. He needs to cover. This time he needs to cover. Will not find one, but at least the plant, no, doesn't even go down either. Team Secret Academy. Lock it off, take the lead, 4-5, as they're looking to take map 2 under their belts.
Dangerous now for Panahone. It's the issue, right? Is you're like, do we do the timeout, or do we just try and make this ban as impactful as possible? I mean, that's very wise. Getting rid of... Oh, there we go. There's the timeout as well. Wombo combo. Get rid of the Valkyrie. Get that timeout going. Okay, we've removed a lot of that information from their hands. They've been very, very reactive to every single piece of intel that's fed to them. But we need to stop this runaway train right now. We need to get back to 5-5. Back to back to back to back in this half for Secret so far on these defenses. And again, Panahone lately, the cracks, when they've been forming, it mostly has been on these attacks.
Headed
Let's see
into
if they
a
can get...
attack pause, it seems, right after the tactical pause.
This is it right now. If you're Panahone, again, it's like, okay, we have that timeout, but are you going to be able to convert it now? Can you bring us back to equalizing? Can you bring us back to even Stevens? And then it's not even the fact that, okay, you get to 5-5, you still need to hit that match point.
That's it. You need to hit that match point. And you know, they got close in the first round, and considering the fact that we're getting back around, we have a good opportunity for them now. They've done well. They've done well before. This is a moment to strike. And maybe that Valkyrie ban, like, so much information has been removed from the defenders that they feel less comfortable roaming. But if all was secret now, and I know, right, you're a map behind, but just keep going with what you're doing. Maybe even if you have less information around, it's a small map. Like, there's not that many places they can go. And clearly it's been working, so I would say just keep it up. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, credit where credit's due, because I think for Secret right now, yes, they've shown that Consulate is good for them, but at the same time, I don't think they've shown so much that it's going to be, like, shocking if they pull it out again, you know?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like, mostly it's not really come so much down to, you know, a specific utility setup or whatever. It's been how they're moving through the map on these defenses. There's been a lot of flanks And I think for Panahone right now, it's also like that is a factor that they need to be careful of because they're losing a lot of information. Secret are gaining a lot of information, and then Secret again, they're being so reactive. They're going for these pushes, they're going for these flanks. Even little things like you have the blitz at the bottom of yellow, and there's no flank drone on yellow apparently at that point that's being checked, or you've not got that cover behind you. So it just takes one person to waddle down, pull shotgun. And they dislodge you, and that entire dimension of the attack is gone. It's little things like that that you just need to be a bit sharper and a bit more on it about.
I agree. Definitely some sharpness that is lacking now from the side of Panahone. Sharpness that we did see before when we were playing Clubhouse. Just feels like a different team is kind of playing right now, and it is odd to say. Team Secret Academy really starting to, again, like even the rounds that Panahone won when they were on their defense, it felt like Secret was still in control of the majority of those. So, something to keep in mind as you wait for the player to return, so we can continue with round number 10. Over in the meantime, he's debating, like, already showing off operator portraits. It's like, just look at all these nice skins that I have. Oh well, seems like we are going for a full rehost.
There we are. Again, Panahone, I have a lot of faith that they can bring this to 5-5, but I think this is a very exciting point in the series where it's like, okay, this can be anyone's at this point. This can be anyone's map, and there is a reality here where we actually get to see a skyscraper between these two, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah, true. We might be seeing that third map. You know, the third or the second series. I can't count. That will be going to 3 maps throughout this tournament so far, and of course, the closer you get towards that final, the closer these matches will start to become. And you know, that's just something we all would like to see happen. Of course, these teams disagree. They rather lock these off in a quick 2-0 fashion and go back to preparation for the next matchup, like any team does. And Panahone especially right now, because they're just not connecting right now, and that's a danger. That is definitely a risk that they're going to be running into, because if they're going to Skyscraper, I think that plays more like it would play Consulate than it does play like Clubhouse.
I think the problem with Skyscrapers, it really depends on that side start, really, doesn't it? And I do believe, Panahone is starting attack on Skyscraper, so that's going to be really awkward for them. I think Panahone, in order to take the series, they actually need to win right here, right now. Otherwise, that's going to be so uncomfortable, especially given, both sides haven't really shown Skyscraper that much, right? Panahone have shown it 7 times, they won it 4 times. Secret themselves, they've shown it 4 times, they've won it 3. Not that much data for either team, again, mostly down to the fact that a lot of teams just don't like going to Skyscraper. They just don't. Like, again, it's super, super defender-sided. It's massive as a map. You have to really kind of just go super, super quickly through it, or go direct, and it puts so much pressure on you on that attacking half that, again, I think that if it did go to Skyscraper, it would actually favour Secret a lot. Starting on that defence, not only that, but when they themselves have their attacks, I do think they'll go for the jugular a bit more effectively than, what Panahone might bring. And even at that point, it's like, if Panahone are even able to get any of these rounds on the board on that attack on Skyscraper. So Panahone, the pressure really is on them right now to secure this consulate.
It definitely is. They need to get that, these rounds on the way. And even if we're just pushing for an overtime first, considering the fact they're only in 4 rounds, that they need to find 2 before we're heading towards overtime, because regulation is just going to be tough to do with how things are currently going. It's going to be needing a little bit more from them than what they're currently giving, and they're just not able to connect properly. Things just not looking too cohesive, or instantly picked apart as soon as they enter the building by the side of Team Secret Academy. So really some struggles happening there on the side of Panahone. Something more akin to what we've seen in like the group stages, for example, on this map. So where their Clubhouse was really good, this is just like not connecting for me.
It was at first though. Like, this is I think this is slight grumble that I'm starting to have now is like as soon as this side switch has happened, it feels like a different Panahone. That's that's why they called that timeout as well. They were like, oh, we've just lost 3 attacking rounds back to back to back. We can't let this happen again. This is getting silly. You know, the attacks have been dodgy lately, and I do think that, especially for a team like Panahone, they were doing so well. And they were really kind of going to newer and newer heights, and then Secret were kind of like, you know, not knocked out of the competition for a while. Really, they were kind of not really some people that you have to worry about during the Rumble season, and now they're back and they've got a lot of bite to them, and they've got way more focus. Again, they've really locked in a lot in terms of like the kind of attitude that they're bringing into these games, and the way that they're kind of locked in for it. So I think it's a massive threat factor. Secret have come in being this massive threat factor for the entirety of South Breach so far, to be honest. Because again, even you know, they've got really good results. Again, they're in the E6 finals. They've been doing decently, and they're still at one of the, you know, the top teams for that T2 final as well. The points wise, they're doing really decently.
Well, as we get back on the way, let's see if it is Panahone that can push us up towards a 5th round first and then a 6th to follow after. Or if Team Secret Academy is just going to make some quick work out of this map and push us over towards Skyscraper, the 3rd map of this series, to decide which of these two teams is going to be having a scheduled date.
Another connector needed.
Swapping mags.
Imagine that's why they're all fighting so hard. Like everybody wanted to play against Mardo, now they just want to play against GK.
Swapping mags.
So, as we see a new Denari setup being made across the hallways, the setup being created again. Mentioned before, the pressure is going to be on Panahone. From the attack, struggle. Managed to find 4 of their defensive rounds. That was good. They weren't quite controlling, they weren't convincing in those rounds. As such, is their opportunity now to find themselves with that control. They need to be convincing. If they're not convincing, they will be struggling.
Loading new magazine.
And they will go through a map 3. Which is, of course, not something they would like to have.
I think it's horribly. It's horribly dangerous. Like genuinely, like Secret most likely will win if it goes to that 3rd map. You know, and you don't want to deep, you know, side starts too much. But Skyscraper, it is a different beast when it comes to the attacker defender side, and you know how you tend to play it out. And I do just think that Secret would have the slightly upper edge on it, and Panahone, they need to get the ball rolling now. Not only equalizing, but if they want to win the series, they need to secure the map now. This will get very uncomfortable again. These attacks, they've struggled with so much.
One central point for 3 of those lasers. Openings being made. The pressure slowly starting to rise out here. Now, Rastin cannot find anything through the journal yet, but we'll definitely be watching for quite a while. As the RC Reteros are starting to come through and will try and do their job. However, the laser actually caught it off. That is also a nice extra thing for those lasers, of course. The RC Reteros will be caught off by it, giving them as much freedom as they otherwise would possibly have. As they keep popping off, the time keeps ticking. Frenchie taking small amounts of damage, but this side is still fully in control of the side of Team Secret Academy. And as Marta goes down, it's a great start for Panahone, which they need to capitalize on. This is the moment they need to. Things are coming through. They have some drones, they have some information. And as the Lems is rotating around towards the basement, I'm not quite sure why. It's Lambe that will find a second, and the Lems forced to rotate back up. Because Panahone might find themselves on a 5th round soon.
Oh dear, Lem's playing from below, getting into Expo. Waiting patiently, can try and deny from below. if he can get into the right place. Then ideally you need to have that flexibility to find yourself in lobby as well if they do try and go for that meeting plan, that default one around the doorway. There he is. Shuts down that collapse. Rustin will go down. Kid is down as well. A follow-up onto Halver as well. Oh no, indeed. A cleanup occurring. He is downstairs. If they can find an off placement, there we go, to get that plan going. All they have to do is deal with this aggression on the doorway right now. It's a post-TP. Alems desperate, hungry to find this head. You got to be careful. Don't allow him these 1v1s, but Nifsu swinging at the right time, able to get that trade instantaneously. 5-5, Panahorne, they've done it. Been able to equalize. And that's that timeout converted, more importantly. Again, yes, use everything in your arsenal, use everything you have available to you. But when teams call a timeout, if they don't win that follow-up round, that always spells a little bit of danger too.
And it's not just about that one round, right? Like, they need to find two, and now they need to find one more in these next two rounds to at least secure themselves an overtime situation. If they manage to reset this to overtime, that is wonderful. Because at that point, they've won a couple of attacking rounds. I presume they will be starting on attack themselves as well. And once that happens, you know, like, just playing it with a little bit more pace. A little bit more security. And a little bit more opportunity. A secret. Again, for the majority of these rounds, I think for 7 out of these 10 rounds, they have looked like the better team. In my opinion.
Matters. This is where it matters though. This is the thing. It's okay. Both teams down 5 rounds. Match point is going to put that pressure on either side. And again, Secret from the get-go, you know, even in that last round, you know, they've been really open to the idea of moving around and being flexible with their positioning. I don't doubt there's going to be much of the same again. Nicely spaced out. We've got Lems on the top floor now making his way down service with that spec IO as soon as they know that this visa pressure's coming in. So they're just trying to cover as many bases as possible, which I think is really good. And again, them being so loosey-goosey with it. Panahorne, they're the ones that have to pinch out that kind of pressure. They're the ones that have to dislodge those players very quickly. Rastin makes his way into Visa finally. Pushing up on that blitz. Lambe dealt with, Halver dealt with. Oh dear, oh dear. Secret collecting those bodies, collecting those kills, and more importantly, trades aren't coming through for Panahorne just yet. Rastin's able to cause a little bit of a ruckus here, a free piece. 2 versus 2, Frenchie and Rastin on the tiniest nubbin of health. Tickle them and they'd fall over.
Still a Nitro on board. That is crucial. Frenchie has that opportunity. There's also still a grenade on board, which is also an opportunity there. Of course, you cannot cook them. Not going to be heat-seeking missiles that will be popping up instantly. As Nick is opening up some extra verticality, they are providing themselves with the opportunity to go for a site opening. There's no denial left except for the electric claws that already have been placed. Nick carrying around a heartbreach opener is getting a ping. They know about one of these players. Are they going to be able to find him? Are they going to be able to isolate him? As these drones are rushing in position, trying to figure out where they are. Okay, well, both in kitchen. You know what that means? Let's see if we can actually open up the garage. See if we can actually get a plant in there from, you know, pushing that wall, but also pushing the yellow stairs. And that together would be the success factor to work with here for the side of Panahorne to turn around the round that drastically went out of the way. Drastically went towards the side of Team Secret, but now back into their hands as the blitz is being spotted. Rastin is being shut down by the Nitro Cell. And Nick now coming in from the rear. Needs to find 2, but there's only 14 seconds. He needs to get a bit of a move on. And as the turbo route pops for the hatch drop, He's not looking in the right direction. There's no time for this. This is an end. It's Team Secret that is going to be winning this round based on time alone because that diffuser is not being recovered. And as such, Secret will still take that round home, will still push themselves up to 6. And now have the opportunity to push us to map 3.
Certainly do. Now the pressure's on again. Panahorne. Just so many red flags with these attacks at times. And it really is heartbreaking given the kind of trajectory that they were on, only for these issues to start to pop up a little bit. Credit where credit's due for against Secret that these defenses have been absolutely gorgeous from them just because they're really just leaning into their playstyle. They're leaning into that kind of, you know, pizzazz and flair that we've seen them bring time and time again. Really aggressive moments from some of these players as well.
Reinforce the wall!
Interesting, we've got Pantheon on that kind of default push from the window.
Changing mags! Loading mag!
Again, it's this idea of, okay, is that because you're expecting them
10
to
seconds
not go for the
remaining.
window take? Or is that to block the window
5
vault in
seconds
itself? Surely you wouldn't waste that much util, no.
remaining. Attackers are moving out to locate
And if you
a
do that,
bomb
they can still repel in. Nothing stops you from repelling in. I don't know if you didn't get behind the shield. To me, that would only sound like you're trying to give them extra cover.
I think he's moved it now anyway.
I would assume so.
Yeah, he has.
Because otherwise you're just giving extra cover for the attackers if they're still deciding to go from that direction.
Throwing grenade.
It's grenades, instead of taking care of some of that utility. All nice and basic, nothing out of the ordinary. For now, it's just a building stage. And Honodo find themselves at an incredible bit of pressure. By 6. Team Secret is looking to push us towards a map number 3. They'll be feeling that. They'll be feeling that they have been better throughout this map so far. As the RC Roteros pop, Panahone. Shortly after this point, we've often seen him enter, and that's exactly what Lambe has done. He's already finding himself in the break room, hoping to find or catch one off guard. The drones are giving away the game and information and places and positionings first. And the most important one has been checked. Soda machine, that's clear. No need to worry for that. This grenade being used to get rid of that barbed wire, opening made into the breach as well. Bouncing back and instantly opening up the opportunity to start pushing. The main breach, or main plant position, has been opened up from below. That gives them the opportunity to retake for a post-plant position afterwards. It's also removed any bit of utility that might have been out there. Flashbangs following up soon. A minute 10, this is it. This is where Panahone needs to strike. As they start moving in, they've taken the long desk, but Marto coming up from below. Are they aware? Is there a flank drone? Flashbangs coming in. Will be leading the charge. One spotted, one killed, either side. Marto is now aware of being down on the ground floor, but he will be shut down. Will not be having the opportunity to switch shells. And Panahone find themselves up with the man advantage. 40 seconds as well. In deep, right behind the desk. All they need to do now is basically provide themselves with cover, and that's exactly what will be done with the firebolts. Lambe's out there holding the cross as well, and this plant is going to be successful. The smoke hitting too late. One player down below on the side of Team Secret. It is Frenchie looking to go for a bit of a retake, but he realizes he's the last one standing either way. You will find a kill for his attempts, but it is 6-6. It is overtime, and it's Panahone that will be on the defense for this overtime. That's big, because they have had 4 rounds on that defense. And it's a race for the first 2 now.
That's massive, and I think again, you know, both teams kind of meeting expectations here. The fact that it has gone to overtime on a map like Consulate between these two, that's exactly what you want to see for two teams who are at the very tippity top of that points table to get into that T2 final. That's the kind of closest you want to see. That's the kind of nail biter you want to witness. You want to see it get to this overtime position. Panahone starting on the defense. That might be a bit of a lifeline for them, to be honest. If they can hold on to things. Again, they've got to be careful about these gaps. Leave anything uncovered. And Secret will just go for it. They'll go for that jugular. They'll get stuck in fast and furious. Already, Marto being on that nook. Or operator to bring a little bit of a cheeky backstab potentially. And again, Secret, they've been so good at it. These flanks, these backstabs.
5 seconds to insertion.
Just kind of sneaky angles of approaching things on both the attack and the defense. Need to be locked in, need to be woken up. Need to have your eyes open, your ears open. Loads of kit in Panahone as well to actually secure things as Marto being droned in, sneaking in from the lobby. Potentially up Spiral. Maybe.
Oh, Visa stairs.
No, Visa. Up the Denari. There we go. Actually deals with Lambe on the Denari as well at the same time. And that's that surprise factor. Where's the trade? It's non-existence because Marto, he's hightailed it out of there. He's not enabling it. That's going to rustle the jimmies of Panahone.
I mean, Lambe, he saw the drone. He realized that someone was probably going to be coming up the staircase behind him, but just didn't hear him. As a result, gets himself picked up early, and that's a huge pick. That is the biggest pick you can imagine right now. Because of the fact we're playing defense, Panahone have a crucial opportunity here of locking this off. But all they need to do is get that first defensive round on the board. Them being a man down this early on, it's just going to be helping Secret tons. Flash is still on the board though. And that is the big issue. The shield placed in the doorway as well to prevent usual walkthroughs. It's going to be cause for issue. Nothing critical. With a minute 30 left. So much time still in the hands of Team Secret Academy that it feels almost impossible not to make good use of the man advantage they have. But they still gotta be careful. They cannot think that they're safe. They cannot think that this round is already in the bag, because as soon as they do, that's when you see things will fall the other way. Snifsu coming around the corner, looking to strike, looking to find a kill. Oh, pre-fire comes in, and that's Frenchy gone. The lens falls as well. Rastin will bring back the favor as Marto goes down as well. Panahone, as they lost the early entry, the grenade doesn't even go through the drone hole either. And Secret sees their round crumble in front of their faces. And as a result,
I'm reloading.
Things are not looking good. Panahone about to go to match point. To series point. As the bees are coming in, we've seen a kill with them coming in from earlier, but now Jax with the 552 commando. Finding a kill. Linko coming around. The clash will be keeping him at bay. He cannot really move through either because the Denaris are out there blocking his entry. And as Jax walks around the corner, Rastin, what are you looking at?
Reload.
And the swings are coming through, and somehow the attackers find themselves with side control. Nyx puts away his shield. Ova is the last one standing. He's on the staircase! When he wins the fight, the shotgun comes in! And it felt like it was such a controlled round from the sides of Secret, and somehow it just falls away. Of course, Panahone, they managed to, you know, salvage what was left there, but I couldn't help but think that that just would have maybe gone the other way around, that Secret was able to clutch that out. It was just a single shot.
Literally. By the skin of their teeth there, Panahone, again, be careful. That was very nearly a clutch coming out from Secret. You had such an advantage if 4 versus 2. Only for Jax to just pop up and cause absolute carnage, absolute havoc. People tunnel visioning a bit too much. However, there by the skin of their teeth, like, if they didn't have a shotgun, could have been a different round end entirely. Panahorn are going to be breathing a sigh of relief, but again, that's going to shake you up slightly. Can't be leaving things that close at all. Need to be careful about that. Need to be on it. Need to be careful about positioning. Need to make sure you've got information. I think intel's really been a key feature throughout this map, to be honest, Hap.
Intel has been key.
10 seconds to insertion.
And the tunnel visioning there could have cost them this map and thus
5
a
seconds
spot in the
left before
finals.
insertion.
But they live, they get the round. Now the opportunity to lock it off on their attacks.
Have not mine primed.
It will be a way. Because their attacks have struggled. And we're down in that ground floor. Not the basement, not the top floor, the ground floor. The drones will be giving away some information. Okay, one on site, mirror window in place. Nothing really they can do with it, of course, at least for now. But Nissa with that blitz, Hova already opening up. This might just be a fast planted tent coming through, Grace.
Ooh.
Rastin with the kill, that's big! The lambs off the board, that's a solace as well. That removes some of that verticality when you're actually trying to get the plan down. Linko taking small amounts of damage as well. The top floor is being harassed here, whilst the ground floor is being prepared to go for a defuse attempt already. Linko's making the right choice. As he's rotating back down, you've seen other of the defenders also doing the exact same thing. They're not willing to stick around. As they realize that this is where everything can fall apart. This is where things can turn, or where they end for the upper bracket run. Frenchie all the way below. Hova about to be looking to find himself a way inside. The diffuser is on the opposite near Zulu and scaffolding. As Marto is quickly going for a little bit of a check outside. He doesn't really see anything. He's opening up further near that main entrance, seeing if he can find success. Nick, you're so close to a person. And you have no clue. I mean, there's a drone. Maybe that will lead into a bit of a pre-fire onto Frenchie. He's just waiting on the opposite side of this wall. That drone will roll in. That will be seen. He's probably going to try and stick around for a little bit, and then suddenly shots start flying through that wall. Marto, upstairs in catering. A minute left. As Lambe, finding himself in consoles, holding off to the top floor. He's wanting to make sure that no one's able to sneak around. He has a mirror window to play with here. He has a drone to play with here. Does he know there's still someone up there? At least he's expecting someone to come up. And Nifsu, he's ready to just make a dash for it. And as he's going, a goo mine will slow him down. There is the Fenrir and the F-net that are slowing him down, but he will make it inside. Jax will find Halva though. And as Nifsu goes down, the diffuser gets dropped as well. Lambe now in a crucial position where he needs to find a kill, but he will flash himself. Unlucky. And with these 25 seconds and Marto dropping outside, everybody will know where he is or where he went. And as Nick finds himself in the middle of the site, he takes a little bit of damage. He knows where one is. Hiding closely around him, but he needs to get the plan down. The bulletproof will be making things difficult. 9 seconds. Jack's in a crucial position to try and strike. Will hit big as they all go down. Lambe, the last man standing, doesn't hit any shots, and Frenchie shuts them down. We are going to round 15.
All the way, and once again, close but no cigar. It felt like Panahone were really gaining the upper advantage, only for SECA to then start tearing into them. Panahone, once again, hesitation. People taking certain areas of pressure, but it's that extra little bit of your checklist that you're looking at, and people aren't moving in time. Very, very dangerous shenanigans when it comes to these attacks for Panahone. Going on to the defense, again, could be a lifeline, but we saw how close it was in that initial round of overtime. Really came down to the nail.
Need to
really could have gone in the favor of Secret. Too much faffing from Panahone at times. Again, the information. Felt like it was going okay for Panahone, but they just weren't pushing quick enough. Too much delay. Secret right now, they're on that attack, but again, there's a lot that they're bringing out here. Yes, of course, they got the blitz there.
Enjoy the view.
They got the global utility of Lion. They got the global utility of the Deimos as well. Double global.
Ally secured.
No, it's repicked onto the ramp. I mean, that makes sense as well. Give yourself a lot of control nice and early if you're able to, you know, not only really use those buggies around the kind of piano expo area. You can even from the get-go, if you want to, go to that top floor.
Swapping mags!
Especially given that there is a slight extension coming out for Panahorne. Lambe and Nifsu
Bomb located
poking
by
a bit of
attackers.
pressure to meet this force head on. And Nifsu obviously having the spec IO, that's a lot of bang for your buck, but you've got to be careful. You've got to allow it to be impactful. You've got to stay alive long enough for it to be impactful as well.
Round 15. Either our map 3 is on the board or we're ending with another 2-0. At least this one, very hard fought from both sides. Almost impossible to drive a wedge in between them to find out what the difference is. Some pings coming through to know some of these players. There's a lot of information on Team Secret Academy. It's just that time's not in their favor this time. They're attacking. They need to make the moves. They need to descend 2 floors. As they're aware of the fact that people are around them that very first. Tracks are coming through. Trying to go for a hunt, and that's a big pick. Lambe being caught off guard by the Vendetta. At least Jax will be found by Rastin. A huge turn. That's a shield gone as well. Yellow still under control. There's another pick comes the other way. Over. Deciding to put up a little bit of pressure. Rastin is being chased. He's trying to fall back, but not completely because he's being challenged on the doorway. Goes down to 1 HP. Will be shut down by Linko as Hova tries to lean in big. It is Nick that will find a kill onto a Lems. At least brings it back to a 2-on-3. With 55 seconds again, we could still go either way. At least Team Secret Academy is finding themselves in a pole position as they have that extra member. Track coming through, the smokes as well, the rotation actually back up to the top floor, not using it to go for a push through yellow, instead rotating up above, rotating towards the breach. And as Nick is still being chased, it is in the hands of Hova now to see what the man can do. The RC Rotero's coming in. Actually no, just a normal drone, there's no floors left. And the boogies up above are creating an issue for him. And is the breach open is then the big question. As players are playing up above the hatch, Nick playing right below it. He's gonna open up an angle all the way towards the yellow side. He knows someone's out there. The drops are coming in from the hatches as well. He needs to be covering on his left-hand side. It's a 1v2. No, the team kills come in, but Secret still managed to lock it off in round 15. And we are headed towards map number 3 to figure out which of these 2 teams is going to be facing GK.
Secret digging it deep, making sure that they bring it all the way and ultimately securing this map for themselves. Bringing us to Skyscraper, and again, you know, I touched on it. Skyscraper